Oh shit. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of What the Game Means to Me. I typically do a little 30-second thing. I forgot to put it on today. But of course, not a normal time, but gotta get it in Sunday morning. We gotta get our pick'ems in. Um we gotta keep ourselves accountable. And then of course we're gonna talk about the Braves, college football, NFL games for the week, and of course we gotta get on Odell with the something and nothing as well. But of course I have my co-host with me again today. Daddy's Bill. How you doing, man? Oh, going out. Of course, of course. So before we get into everything, of course, gotta drop the new video. Everybody enjoy.
Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win! They win!
Don't you open your mouth about the best. Or I'm gonna set it for you real quick. LOB.
Listen, we talking about practice. Not a game, not a game, not a game. We talking about practice.
Lewis gets it to LeBron for three for the win. Yes! LeBron James at the buzzer!
What was your mindset when you stepped in the batter's box?
Go yard. I mean, I'm a pitcher. Why not swing as hard as I can? I got nothing to lose.
It's nothing to man above. Don't put you in situations that you can't handle. Instead of saying why me, they're saying this is what he want me to do. And Cleveland, this is for you.
The way we approach the game is the same way we approach life. You do the right thing, you make the right play. Make the right play. And in life is the same thing. What do you feel in your heart is the right thing to do? And you do that. And it seems so simple, but sometimes the simplest things are the hardest things to do. And I think it's just that.
Welcome to
What? The game.
Me.
To me.
All right. And again, shout out to JP for helping me put that together. But like I said, of course, it's, excuse me, week 10 in college football weekend. We had a lot of good games on tap. Actually, no, I forgot. Before we get into that, we gotta definitely pay homage and definitely pay some respects to our Atlanta Braves for winning the World Series, bringing the title back after 26 years, Dad? I want to say
95. So yeah, 26, 27.
26 and 27. So of course, like I said, they wrapped it up on I want to say Tuesday in Houston by a score of 7-0. And then of course we had a parade here on Friday. I know that you weren't able to join in with the festivities because you're in South Carolina now. But I did get to see a little bit of it. Got to the parade late, but got to see a little bit of Big Boys concert. I think they brought out Zach Brown band as well, and then Ludacris as well. So I guess before we do get into it, like I said, I guess just talk about maybe what obviously we had already talked about, something or nothing, what this would mean to the city of Atlanta. But I guess overall, what was your thoughts, I guess, on the game when you saw it, them clinching it, and then everything that came after?
All the fields, just like every other Braves fan, a lot of hard losses, a lot of tough playoff series where they, blew leads and stuff like that. And for them to finally pull it off in a year where, Hank Aaron passed away, he wore number 44. Took them. They were when Acuna got hurt. They had 44 wins. Just a team of destiny. Them being able to overcome losing their best player, one of their other best players, Marcelo Ozuna, losing Mike Soroka, who was one of their starting pitchers, and losing Charlie Morton in the first game. For them to overcome all that and be one of the, I wouldn't say the Astros are a dynasty, but they've been to 3 World Series in the last 5 years, so that's pretty darn good. And I just, I'm happy for them. I had a feeling they would pull it off the way they were playing, and when the bats got hot in the pitching, Ian Anderson and my guy, I can't even think of his Max Fried, they stepped up when needed, and the bullpen was awful during the regular season, but when the playoffs came in, when it was time to step up, those guys showed up. So, shout out to them and re-sign Freddie. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, hopefully they're able to. I know I'm pretty sure he wants to be back. He's been here since he literally got drafted since what 2007. So, and then coming off a World Series championship, I'm hoping they re-sign a few of these guys actually, like Soler, crazy Rosario. Like the outfield acquisitions that they made literally saved the entire team and literally catapulted them to the playoffs. And they pretty much was all the production, at least bat wise, or most of the production. I will say Albies and Freeman, definitely did their part as well. And then Dansby Swanson too. Shout out to him, hometown kid. So, like you said, the bats got rolling and it just got hot, and that's just what happens when you're hot at the right time. In many sports, honestly, you can pretty much catapult you to a World Series or championship victory. But definitely happy to see them hosting that trophy for sure. Like I said, the city overall just needed it. I'm glad they were able to do a parade downtown and also in Cobb County. I went, close to the Battery. And like I said, watched the concert a little bit in Cobb County. And it definitely was crowded. It definitely was packed. It took way longer than it was supposed to get to the Battery than it normally does. But, all in all, it was worth it. Just seeing these guys talk about it, be happy about it, host the trophy, and, just bring one home. Like I said, we're hoping it now starts a little bit of momentum for, Atlanta sports, but I'm not too sure. My Hawks actually they sliding a little bit. They looking a little slippery, and I don't like what Trae Young talking about. Regular season boring. Like regular season gonna have to catapult you to the playoffs. Like you gotta find some type of interest. Like can't be talking about it's boring or you ain't gonna be in the playoffs. Like that's all you're gonna have is the regular season. But and obviously my Falcons are struggling. We're gonna see what they do today. But just glad to see one team finally host a trophy, a major sports team. Obviously Atlanta United won one in 17 or 18, but you definitely need to see baseball, football, or basketball win one, and definitely glad to see that they brought one home. Hopefully they can repeat, or my Mets can, maybe take one home. We'll see. We'll figure it out. We'll see when that time comes. But of course, next thing we got hit on college football. A lot of pretty good games yesterday. Some top teams got upset or almost got upset, and we're going to talk about one that did get upset and then two that almost got upset, or should have got upset. Right here, obviously, Cincy and Tulsa. Tulsa had 3 chances to punch it in. I think they ended up punching it in, but just failed on the 2-point conversion, right? Or did they didn't get it in at all?
No, they didn't get it in at all.
Okay, yeah, I forgot. The quarterback slid. I forgot instead of just walking in. I don't know why he slid, but no, like I say, I guess we just talk about the game. But I mainly wanted to hit on, of course, like just the playoff, implications. Like a lot of people were surprised. Not a lot of people were surprised. Some people, rightfully so, was like understanding of like why since he was on the outside of the top 4, even though they're undefeated. And I guess some people point to games just like this as to why, but others, of course, would argue the opposite side. But I mean, I guess just talk about the game and then just talk about where we think Cincy, may end up in this week's college football rankings.
It was a good game for the most part. Not back and forth, but it was just a close game throughout. And I just feel like this is the reason why people, slight Cincy. I'm one of those guys that I understand why people think Cincy should be out, but I also just want to give them a chance because we've given Notre Dame and some of these other teams chances and they get blown out. So why not just let Cincinnati get blown out just to, test the experiment? Or maybe this will be a good reason for them to expand it after this year, seeing all these teams left in. But Cincinnati, they're just not the best team to me. They'll beat Notre Dame on the road, but then they'll almost lose to Navy and to Tulsa, who lost to FCS school named UC Davis. So it's just like, you don't know what you're really getting here, but I feel like they should get an opportunity. If they went out, if they go undefeated, I think they have to get an opportunity. Yeah. So, I mean, I know some people might disagree. I know Stu definitely disagrees, but I mean, I feel his point, but I just, I'd rather, let's be fair to everybody because the point they're trying to get across is the games really don't matter. Like they're winning the games that are in front of them, beating the teams that are in front of them and still being slighted. So, if they win out, I think they deserve a chance. Most definitely.
Yeah. I feel that. I guess we could move on to the next game as well, and because the team that was 3rd ranked got upset, Michigan State over Purdue, and of course the college football chat caused a little bit of a stir, saying like obviously now it's like Michigan, no matter what they did, they're not moving up. Trying to think who's 4th. Oregon was 4th. I think they won by 10.
Yeah, they sneaked one out.
Won by 10. Yeah. So being like with Cincy, like I said, being undefeated, I guess I'm thinking because like another one, Oklahoma. Everybody's been pretty much down on them because even though they're undefeated, they've just been really sneaking out wins in their games as well. So it's like, say Tulsa, my fault. Say Cincy and Oklahoma end up undefeated, but obviously they're both looking on the outside of the top 4 right now. And obviously Michigan is going to be out. Who do you think, I guess, replaces them right now? Do you think they will put Cincy in the top 4 this upcoming week, or I forgot who's in front? Or obviously Ohio State probably is going to move in. I'm thinking because
the way they play,
obviously they only won by 9 against Nebraska.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I guess we talk about what do you think? Well, one, Michigan State losing to Purdue don't look too good, but then also what does that do for their playoff hopes?
I still think they're okay. They kind of control their destiny in a way because they still have to play. They had that win over Michigan. They still get to play Ohio State, who has 1 loss. So, they can potentially jump them. But, Purdue's not that bad. Like, they were ranked at a point in time for a quick second.
Mm-hmm.
And they got some tough wins on their schedule. They beat Iowa and they beat Michigan State. So when they see a top 10 team on their schedule, they just, they start cheesing. They're ready to play. And shout out to my cousin, David Bell. He went for 217. I'm just capping, but they literally aired it out on Michigan State. Like, their pass defense is pretty suspect. I thought their defense overall was pretty straight, but yesterday showed that their pass defense was pretty atrocious. And Mel Tucker, being a defensive guy, allowing 536 yards throughout the air is not good. But, I think they'll be fine. They played well throughout the season. The one bad loss doesn't end their season because they still potentially can control their own destiny if they win out. So, I think they'll be fine, but I'm interested to see who they put in the top 4 this coming weekend. Like, does Oklahoma go from 8 to 4, or does Cincinnati finally get some love? So, we'll see who that 5th team is. And, Ohio State, even though they won, they squeaked it out. Nebraska is not that bad of a team. They've lost a lot of close games. So, I think the committee knows who Nebraska is, and they're not a pushover, so they won't, put too much on them for that loss. But knowing who they are, Ohio State, the program, they're always in the mix. I don't think they would, if they're 5th, I think they get that next spot. I don't see Cincinnati or Oklahoma jumping them.
This I guess predecessors because they've just been a powerhouse these past few years. But I'll tell you, they didn't lose yesterday, but I guess it was a closer game than many people thought. I'm honestly starting to think, I don't know what to think of LSU this year, but Alabama squeaked out a 6-point win against LSU. LSU really could have won, if that Hail Mary was caught by somebody. But, they're ranked number 2 in the standings. Obviously, I don't think they're going to move because, they won the game that's in front of them. Plus, it's Bama. So what do you think about this game yesterday?
Just a tough rivalry game. You can't expect any year, no matter like in rivalry games, you got to throw out the record. It doesn't matter what's going on with either program. They're going to show up to play for this game, and that's what they did. I'm not going to put too much on Alabama. They got tested. Maybe they're not as dominant, beating everybody by 40, but that's not what's going to happen. LSU's playing hard. I know Coach O's on his way out, but his guys are playing hard, and I think Max Johnson is honestly a sleeper quarterback that we might be talking about in a couple of years, getting ready for the draft. Not yet, but I think he's a solid prospect. So just overall, it wasn't the prettiest win, but they got it done, and I'm not going to put too much on Bama. Bryce Young didn't turn over the ball. He didn't throw a pick or anything. It was just, a defensive game, and it wasn't their best game offensively, and that happens sometimes in these. It's the SEC. Let's not act like it's the Big 12 where we're expecting it to be 45-41 every weekend. So a 20-14 game is solid football. And let's not put too much on Bama for that. But I think, they'll be just fine. I know they have Auburn. I know their season's over because they lost to A&M yesterday, but they still have Auburn on the schedule. So they got to, lock in for these next 3 weeks and secure that playoff berth in that matchup. I don't know who's coming out of the SEC West yet, so it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
A lot of them have losses. So, but I really am looking forward to the end of this stretch run. I think Bama will be fine though, securing that spot. I have no worries about them. And I said SEC West, I meant SEC East.
East, yeah, I was about to say. But hold on, no. Well, I forgot. Yeah, well, Kentucky lost yesterday.
Actually, no. Yeah. It's already set. It's already set.
I was about to say, I would say Georgia is definitely taking the East. I was about to say, I don't think anybody. The other team was.
I think A&M because they're a conference record. I might be wrong though. I was
about to say, I think Kentucky's in the East, and I was like, I think that was the only team that was close, and they lost yesterday.
Yeah, they lost to Tennessee, so they ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, so
I'll take that back, bro. It's secured because Texas A&M lost to Mississippi State.
Yeah, I think exactly. So I don't know. So I guess before we do move on, top 4, who do you think is the top 4 this upcoming week? Obviously, it's Georgia, Alabama is more likely solidified. Michigan State lost, so it feels that one spot I guess needs to be filled, and more likely Oregon doesn't move unless they move up to 3. So who do you think is the top 4? And then maybe that 5 and 6 looking into.
Yeah, I'll go 1 Georgia, 2 Bama, 3 Oregon because Oregon has the head-to-head versus Ohio State, and Ohio State 4, even though they didn't have the prettiest game. And then 5 would be Cincy, It's a tough one. They're giving Michigan at the moment more credit than Oklahoma for the schedule they played and how they played teams. But I think that's a tough one. I'm gonna go with Oklahoma jumping Michigan going to 6 because I'm interested to see where Michigan State, Michigan have the same record, but Michigan State beat them head-to-head. So I have no idea where the committee's gonna put them. Like they're gonna drop them, but I feel like they still put them in front of Michigan, and maybe Oklahoma's in front of Michigan. It's tough. I really don't know. But my 6 I'm gonna stick with is UGA, Bama, Oregon, Ohio State, Cincinnati, and then I'm gonna have Oklahoma jumping to number 6 because they're undefeated. And Michigan State, I'd say 7.
Yeah, I could. Yeah,
because Michigan can't be in front of them, even though they have the same record. When they played head-to-head, Michigan State won. So
yeah. I don't know. I feel like Michigan State gets dropped a little further. I don't know why.
Yeah, the way they lost too.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be around maybe like the 9 range for some reason. But yeah, I can definitely get with that top 6. The only one that I may think, like you said, they're showing Michigan a lot more love than Oklahoma State. I mean Oklahoma State, but Oklahoma. So the only one I think I may switch out would maybe be like say Oklahoma 7, Michigan
I can agree
6.
with that.
But other than that, I definitely agree with the rest of the top 6 that you have. But before we move on, we gotta do a little segue. We gotta hit on NFL. Before we hit on the NFL picks, we gotta segue into our little something or nothing. It's only something or nothing that we got on tap for today, but it's definitely a big something or nothing. It's definitely not nothing. I'm more likely guessing both is gonna say something, but I think if it hasn't already happened, they're saying Monday Odell will be released from the Browns. It's been a lot of news circulating the last few weeks. The dad posted, a bunch of clips of Odell being open, Baker not hitting him, Baker going through his injury. Even when he wasn't injured, Baker could never really find OBJ and hit him. They could just never meshed. And he's been up there. I didn't even realize, been there 3 years now, and his stats look atrocious, like the lowest that they've ever been ever. But something or nothing, Odell more than likely getting released on Monday. We don't know the team yet. I know we can speculate. And a lot of teams would love his services, but what do you think? What do you think happens on Monday, and where do you think Odell goes?
I honestly don't know where he goes. I can put teams out there because there's a list, like there's an order. Teams, you can't. It's not like a free-for-all. He has to go through the process. But it's definitely something. Like they finally freed my man. And you posted on Instagram on my story last week, like free Odell, please. He's just been hampered by mediocre quarterback play throughout his career. Like I know Eli Manning won 2 Super Bowls, but he was mediocre, and especially at the end of his career, like all he was throwing was slants to Odell, and he had better production with Eli than he did with Baker. So like what is this, bro? I really don't understand. Baker's not that guy. I never thought he was, but they're just wasting a Hall of Fame talent. Like at this point, we have to put together like the last 5 or 6 years, dominant years of his career to have that Hall of Fame case. And the way he was trending in New York with Eli Manning, his quarterback, bro, he was a top 5. Nobody questioned him as a game changer. And now, people, I think people just forgot who Odell was. And I think, a fresh start would be good for him with the contender, which he said he wants to go to. And, hopefully he can go somewhere where they need a true number 1 option and he can be that guy for them. But I definitely think it's something. And the teams I could put out there, I forgot the list. I had it in front of me the other day, but I know the Patriots are in the middle. I know the Pats, contender, and Bill Belichick will keep him, upright. I like him in San Fran. Debo Samuel's having a breakout season, but I don't think he's a number 1. He commands double team, stuff like that. I put that out there, and then don't let him fall. I think KC was like number 18 on that list. Please don't let him fall because what KC's been telling you these past offseason, they tried to get Juju, they tried to trade for another receiver. They don't believe that they have a true number 2. Kelsey's a tight end, but that doesn't count. So, they need another guy that can, take the top off of coverages on the other side of Tyreek and demand those double teams, pull a little bit of coverage away from him. So those 3 teams, San Fran, the Pats, and the Chiefs are my options. But finally free Odell. I'm glad, like, if this would have had to come to, so be it. But if he stayed in Cleveland, it wasn't going to get any better, and people were just going to continue to forget who Odell Beckham Jr. was. Because I'll take him on my team any day. And playing football, receivers always they're a little bit of divas. They have attitude. They want the ball. It's the most dependent position. Like you're dependent on somebody to throw you the ball. You can't do anything else to get the ball if your quarterback doesn't throw it to you. So
exactly,
I'm happy they freed my man, and hopefully he can shine instantly to show that Baker is not that guy.
Yeah, I still understand people that do think he is that guy, but I'm glad there's definitely something. I'm glad he's going to be free. I'm glad he's going to go somewhere else. I'm glad that I really don't have to hear about it in the news anymore. Because, like you said, I think wherever he goes, like obviously he's going to make an instant impact. Like I know he's been hampered by some injuries, and then, like you said, hampered by mediocre quarterback plays in entire career. You would have never known in New York, like you said, with the stats that we would see. Definitely was on his way to, if not, was already solidified as a top 5 receiver. But, just being in Cleveland, just what they say, they sent them to Cleveland to die, and it really feels like he did have like has died a little bit. Yeah, so I'm ready for the resurgence. I know everybody else is as well. I think also going to be, it's also something because I'm glad I think the Browns would realize. I mean, they don't use them anyway. Like they're obviously really a heavy run team depending on the run, but I'm just glad that we don't have to continue to hear and put the blame on him that he's the reason why, either Baker is not where he should be or he's messing with Baker's head, that, they don't mesh, he doesn't, and Baker doesn't play better when he's out there and all this crazy stuff, like putting the whole blame on the team, for something like he didn't even do. Like he ain't even really been playing like that. Like the defense injured, like it's Odell's fault. Like Baker can't throw a pass, it's Odell's fault. Like running backs are hurt, they losing 10 to 15 to the Steelers, it's Odell's fault. So, I'm just tired of everybody blaming Odell for everywhere he goes. Hopefully, sooner or later, that's something that doesn't happen anymore. But shout out to Sage Alvarez. Definitely always showing love on Twitter to the whole Off the Ball Network family. Appreciate you for tuning in, saying great show. Definitely appreciate that. But yeah, real quick, I guess before I let you go, that I'm gonna I guess hit on the teams. I hope he comes to Atlanta. Cordell Patterson added him on Twitter. He was like, "Come on through, big bro." We never know. I don't know where we are on the waivers list, but hopefully, and we're not a contender either, but I don't think we're out of it. I don't know. I'm hoping some good news. Calvin really, we're praying for him. He's stepping away from football. We put him on IR. He's going to be out for at least 3 weeks. Outside of that, we have no receivers. Like Kyle Pitts is our only hope. So Odell, come on through. We need you for real. But other than that, I mean, it would be nice to see him in I don't know why I said Jacksonville. My fault. I meant to say with Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. Definitely with the Patriots, I could see that being a good fit as well. Like they brought in a lot of receivers, but like kind of all like 2-3 type receivers, not a real true number one. And then like you said, if he goes to KC, like Sammy Watkins, I guess was kind of like he wasn't a guy that demanded double teams, but Sammy, you had to keep an eye on him also with Tyreek Hill, and they don't really have anyone like that like at the moment. Like they just have another speed guy, McCole Hartman, Demarcus Robinson plays sparingly, and the other guys are really no names. It's really just Tyreek and Kelsey. So him being there, I mean, I know that's not their woes. They would just be adding another shiny offensive tool. Like they need defensive help severely, but it would be cool to see him there as well with Patrick Mahomes if he gets his act right too. But what was you gonna add that?
I was just saying, like, I know we can't blame Odell because people, like we just can't do that. I know people want to blame him because of what happened when he got hurt. Like literally that game when they played the Bengals last year, Baker was like 21 for 22 for the rest of the game. But I'll blame Stefanski a little bit. I feel like he could have done a better job of getting him the ball because he was in Minnesota before, and that's when they had Thielen and Diggs, which were 2,000-yard receivers, and he found a way to get them to route along with giving the ball to Dalvin Cook like 20 times per game. So it's just, it's a tough situation all around, and it should have worked. I definitely thought it was going to work. But all those weapons they have, Njoku, Hooper, they got Austin Bryant from FAU, 2 number 1 running backs. It's just a lot. It's one football to go around and a lot of people to get it to. So it's just, I think he needs to – he's not the most selfish guy in the world, but he needs to rock more. And he did say if he goes somewhere where it's not a contender, there will be problems. So y'all heard that. If y'all don't want any commotion, any drama going on with your messing up your franchise, let them pass you. Like Jacksonville, don't even do it. We want them, but we're gonna go 3-14. So let's not do that. But yeah. Shout out to Odell. Hopefully he can go with a coach that knows his worth and will, utilize him to his fullest.
Yeah, hopefully so. I'm thinking it will happen, but come to Atlanta. I mean, you can still help us in some way, some form, some capacity. Like we still right there for a wild card spot. I ain't gonna say the division, but I think we can. If we get a win in today, maybe who knows? But like I said, so going into our NFL portion of everything, it was a pretty bad week for both of us. I might have messed up. I might have went 79-42. I think I went 79-42 instead. I'll change it later. But Yeah, we just had a lot of very, very bad picks. I'm pretty sure a lot of people had a very bad week. Honestly, like we could not have been the only ones. Like a lot of teams got upset that we wasn't expecting. Like since he lost to the Jets, the Colts, shit went away against the Titans after being up 2 touchdowns.
Early. Early.
Actually no, I think I did go 7-8. But who else lost? Can't even think. Oh, Cleveland lost. I know.
Yeah.
Who else?
Now I was saying it's just too many games to tell. Like I said before we started the show, like this was a terrible betting week. Like picks and betting, I just lost a lot of money. It was bad.
It definitely wasn't looking good. Like I said, it wasn't looking good for the Pick'ems, but luckily, like I said, we both had a bad week, so it's not like we're too far. Well, you're not like you're too far behind from me, but like you said, slow and steady race. I put week 8 on the accident. This is obviously week 8, but yeah, I guess we'll move on. Like I said, with our Pick'ems for this week 9. Of course, we can talk about some of the games as well. So hopefully you can see that it's kind of small, but of course, the first game on tap, at least on the sheet, is Cleveland and Cleveland and Cincinnati divisional game. Both teams coming off of losses. Since he's maybe a little bit worse than Cleveland's, but after all the news that surrounded, I guess Cleveland this past week, I don't know if that may be a distraction coming into this game. Maybe since he's they're at home as well, and they've been playing pretty good ball. Outside of last week, I don't know what the defense was doing, but maybe this is another game to where Cleveland takes another loss and their season that started out looking promising is starting to go down the drain. But what do you think about this matchup and who are you picking to win?
I'm going with Cincinnati. They had a bad loss last week. They kind of played down to their competition and it hurt them. I just think everything going around with Cleveland right now is a lot of distractions. And I really think, it's going to be the opposite. When Odell got hurt, Baker took off. I think he's going to have a really, really bad game this week. And they fall to 4-5, and there's a lot of questions. Because, going into the season, everybody had the Browns as contenders, like one of the few teams that could possibly knock off the Chiefs. And now they might be on the outside looking in, especially with the way their division is looking. The Steelers, I don't think they're a threat, but they've caught steam. And, the Ravens and the Bengals are playing good football. So, yeah, it's gonna be a tough stretch if they can't win today. But I do like Cincinnati at home by I'd say like 3. It's gonna be a close game, but I like them in the way they're playing, especially how they lost last week. They're gonna be locked in.
Yeah, I think Cincy does take this one as well. It's at home. Yeah, I just think it's too much going on in Cleveland right now. I know they got Jarvis back last week. I don't know. He didn't have the greatest of games. Is Nick Chubb off of IR yet? Is he playing today?
I think so. When I looked for the injury report, he wasn't on there. I know Kareem probably this is his last week because I know it's 3 weeks.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like I said, maybe a close game. Like I said, they got Chubb back to help in that backfield. I guess Dearness Johnson would be backing him up. But yeah, I don't know. Same thing like you said. I don't think Baker definitely does take off. He's still, I guess, injured and hampered with a shoulder. And that's not their strong suit anyway. The defense has been giving up. Well, they haven't been giving up. Like I said, they only gave 15 points last week, but that's to a Big Ben team that we still don't know why he's quarterbacking. But defense hasn't been that great the past few weeks. And since he has had probably one of the top offenses in the league, they're putting up points pretty much every week. Even if they lost, they put up 31 last week. So I'm gonna take Cincy as well at home in this one. Denver and Dallas. Who you picking? You picked against Dallas last week.
I'm still mad about that game, bro. They lost to Cooper Rush. I'm done with Minnesota. But yeah, Dallas not easily. Denver, they just traded away Vaughn. I think they know the season's lost. They need a quarterback. They need a true quarterback, that guy that can hold it down. I think Dallas is rolling, man. They're playing good. Like I wanted to be right about them not being, being a little overrated. They prove time and time again. Like they're learning how to win these close games, which they would, lose in the past. So after last week, I think Dallas is a contender for sure. And I think they don't roll at home because Denver's a tough matchup. And Jerry Jeudy comes back for the first time since week 1. So we're gonna see what they do. All that cluing and all that guessing, Jerry Jeudy's one of those guys that will hit you with a double move. So I like the game to be close, but Dallas will pull it out. But they do lose games like these, so they will have a slip up. But I like Dallas so far. They shown me they can ball this year so far.
Yeah, same here. Like he's gonna go with the safe bet at the moment because, like you said, they've at least proven to me week in and week out that they can at least stay in games and win games. Like they're not doing the thing that they were doing last year, especially the defense. Like I said, it's tightened up a little bit surprisingly. And like I said, offensively, Dak is playing great. Could be top 5 for MVP candidate at the moment. It has that offense rolling. Zeke looks a lot better as well from the early season chatter of maybe they shouldn't have paid him, maybe they need to move on to Pollard, like all of that. So definitely feel good picking them. But like you said, I guess don't sleep on Denver. They just traded, and it's weird when stuff like this happens. Like you trade your captain, your long time, a long time player that meant a lot to the franchise, and Von Miller. Like other guys step up, other guys are prepared, and it's kind of I don't know. It's like a rallying like game for teams like this to where like all right, not that we can show that we can win without you, but it's like guys just are a little bit more pumped up, a little bit more juice. And things that those guys that were behind him, now have that opportunity to kind of show, why they traded him and fill in that role. So I don't know. It could be a weird game, like you said, that Denver does take this one, but I'm gonna still go with Dallas because that's just to say that at this moment they're playing good football. So next we got Houston and Miami. Sorry, I read it wrong, but yeah, Houston and Miami. I think Tyrod comes back today. We see him for the first time since week 2. So it's definitely going to be a interesting because typically when he's out, he'll be out for the rest of the year. So obviously Houston really has no hopes at anything, but it'll be nice to see him, play because he looked good in the first 2 weeks, in that offense. But and they're playing against a Miami team that really just has lost their way completely on both sides of the ball. So who are you picking to win this one?
Going with the upset, man. I got Houston getting their 2nd win of the season, if I'm not correct. I know I'm not tripping. They beat us week 1, but that's it. Yeah. I like Houston. Before Tyrod got hurt, they would have beat the Browns in week 2 or gave them a went down to the wire, and they just play with a little bit better confidence with them. Even though Davis Mills isn't playing that bad, like if you look at it and you watch him play each week, he's getting better and better. So I mean, Houston's not that terrible as everybody made them seem. Well, as I made them seem, before the season started. And Tua's not playing because of he's the backup. He fractured some bone in his one of his fingers in his throwing hand. So Jacoby Brissett will be getting the start. And I think this is a perfect opportunity. Houston didn't want to trade with Miami, so Deshaun just gonna be. I don't know. He might be smiling like, dang, Miami, I should have made that move and pulled that trigger. But I know with all the legal stuff, I'm just talking, but I do think that Houston pulls out the upset and, people start talking about firing Brian Flores, even though I don't think, he's the reason for the lack of success. I don't think his guys are performing, but I definitely like Houston today in the upset.
Yeah, I got to go with that as well. Like you said, I like the fact that Tyrod's back in the lineup. And you said, like I just said, Miami has lost their way completely on both sides of the ball. And, they have to put Jacob Brissett back in, who hasn't played terrible when he's been in, but again, it's I guess you want your starter or you want your Jacoby Brissett. But I mean, honestly, the way Tua has been playing and like the time of interceptions, it may not even be far off. Like the two may not even be that far off in play. But yeah, even though they're at home, I can't go with them. My heart just won't let me do it. So I'm gonna go with Houston, getting their 2nd win as well. Because like I said, they've looked like there's been some games they've looked terrible, but in most games they have been in the game and looked like they could have won. Like they could have won against the Patriots. There's another one I forgot. I think a week or 2 ago that they could have won as well, but things just didn't flow their way. So I'm picking Houston to win this game as well. Next we got my Falcons taking a trip. Damn, I thought this was home, but I guess they're taking a trip to New Orleans. Obviously, our guy Winston is no longer playing. Trevor Siemian more likely is going to be starting quarterback. We're coming off a pretty bad loss against the Panthers, and they're coming off a pretty big win against the Tampa Bay Bucks. So who you got in this one?
This might be when you gain your lead, but I got to go with the Saints. Trevor Siemian, he was a solid, like not saying he was a starter, but he was solid when he was with Denver. He'll win you some games. And he showed when he stepped in like he was ready to play. And the Saints defense just played inspired last week, and I think that carries over. They got Taysom Hill back, so he can really run his little Drew Brees option. Not saying Trevor Siemian is Drew Brees, but the 2-quarterback system they ran will be effective. And for some reason, it doesn't matter how bad the Saints are playing or how good y'all are playing. When y'all go play them, y'all can't block anybody. And Matt Ryan has a long day, so hopefully that is a reoccurring theme, and that happens this weekend. Or in about 20 minutes here, and I'm going with the Saints by 7. But y'all been playing better. But the Saints defense is really slept on, and they match up. They know how y'all play. I mean, without Calvin Ridley, it's gonna be a rough day. I'm interested to see who guards Kyle Pitts, what safety they put on him, but maybe Gardner Johnson or maybe Marcus Williams. But we'll see. But I like the Saints. I really like the way they're playing. And I was thinking when they lost Jameis, the game was over, but they gave Tom Brady hell last week. So I like New Orleans at home.
Yeah, I think. So I need to change a little better. I think I'm gonna do something that I hadn't done yet in the pick'ems. I've been going with Atlanta for 8 straight weeks. I'm going with the Saints because if I pick them in the pick'ems and I lose in the pick'ems, but they win in real life, I don't even care. I'd rather that. So I'm going with the Saints as well because, like you said it perfectly. Their defense, for some reason, just gets extra juiced up when they play divisional rivals, especially us. Like they just be on another level. And more than likely, our offensive line has played better, but last week, I don't remember how many sacks we let up. I think maybe 3 or 4 and a lot of QB pressures and hits as well. When the previous weeks we pretty much kept Matt Ryan upright. But then again, got to look at the teams that we played. It was the Jets in Miami, but. I don't know. Like I said, the obviously the Calvin Ridley thing kind of hurts us, offensively because last week you seen it. They double team Kyle Pitts the entire game, and we don't utilize Hayden Hurst or really any other receivers, in short passing games as well. Like I don't know what we be trying to do, but what we try to do is not what we can do on offense. And we've been beating Cordell Patterson to death. I'm surprised and glad that he's still upright and healthy as well, but. Yeah, offensively, we're just struggling. Defensively, we just don't have enough talent and firepower. Even though, like I said, they're not a powerhouse offense. Like I said, they don't have anyone really besides AK and maybe a big play away with what you call it? I think it's Smith, number 11. No, Harris, my fault, Harris, and then
you said number 11. I think you said 10. Yeah, you're talking about the Harris, the little gadget.
Yeah, so as long as we, keep everything in front of us, I think it's going to be a slow, methodical game. I honestly don't think it's going to be high scoring at all. Like I said, their defense is probably going to shut us down. Offensively, I don't think they're going to be able to produce as well as they were last week. Because like I said, I think we'll let them get a lot of yards, but they just won't punch it in the end zone, hopefully. But I'm going with the Saints just because if the Falcons win in real life, I'll just be more happy about that. I don't care. I got a game or two to play with the Pick'ems anyway. So Las Vegas versus the New York Giants. Who you got?
With everything going on this week, this stuff happens. It's an unfortunate situation with the families affected by the Henry Ruggs situation. The girl that passed away, and Henry Ruggs going through a rough little time in life. But I think with all that going on, the team's just going to be a little messed up in the head. They lost one of their brothers that they know is not coming back ever. And I just think, them going on the road, it's been a long week, emotional week. They're playing at 10 p.m. their time. And I think the Giants they're not good, but they're not pushover. They're not a pushover. So it's just like, I just think that they find a way to get a dub. They've been in almost every game they played in. And if you can slow down Mahomes, and then even though they're struggling, I think you can slow down the Raiders offense minus Russ. So I like the New York Giants at home today, pulling off the upset because the Raiders are technically number 1 in the AFC West. So
yeah,
quite upset.
Yeah, that's true. Damn, we're gonna defer sooner or later, but I gotta go with the same thing because it's just I think mentally is a lot to process. We've seen the press conferences by the interim coach and by Derek Carr, them talking about it. Like I said, it's just been a long week as a whole. Like I said, he's facing 2 counts of felony charges. It could get even worse. So definitely mentally something that's, like I said, we'll get to that team. And like I said, they have to travel all the way over to the East Coast. We're playing 10 a.m. their time. It's just not a good mix. Pretty much a mix for not disaster, but just like a tough, long day for them. And like I said, the Giants aren't the greatest, but they won last week. Maybe they can put 2 wins in a row together. I don't know. But I'm taking the Giants at home as well to pull off, like I said, the semi upset in a way. But New England versus Carolina, and I think Christian McCaffrey come back today.
Everybody's back. Everybody's back.
Oh, is Sam Darnold playing too?
Yeah, this game is really, really tough because, Sam Darnold might go back to week 1 through 4, Sam Darnold, or week 1 through 3, Sam Darnold. But the Pats, they're looking good, man. Last week, I had a feeling that they were going to beat the Chargers. I just didn't want to pick them, and I was wrong. Like, each week, Mac Jones gets a little more and more comfortable. He's playing within the, scheme of the offense perfectly. He knows when to take risks and when not to take risks. And I just think they're playing good ball right now, man. This is Gilmore's little revenge game. He might get a pick or two off Mac, but
yeah, he looked good last week against us as well.
Yeah, he did. I just think, man, I don't know. I think New England is just finding their stride. I always said that we need to give Bill Belichick a little more credit because what he's doing with that roster, staying in all these close games with a far superior roster than other teams, like when he played the Cowboys and when he played the Bucs, and almost beat both those teams. So it's credit to him and that staff, and I think that, they find their stride, and they're going to eventually end up being a wild card team, and then, you got to win games like this if you want to secure that wild card in that tough AFC. So I like them in a close one, but I wouldn't be surprised if Carolina finds their group back, getting their guys back. But I just like the way Mac Jones is playing, man. I really do.
Yeah, I think I like it as well. I think I did pick, if I can't remember right, I think that's the one I picked that, catapulted me a game up. New England last week against the Chargers. Like you said, they just started to play a little bit better. Defense has always been pretty good. Like I said, offensively, I think Mac Jones starting to find his way a little bit. They know what works offensively for them, and like I said, they just been looking good. And like you said, this one is tough. Carolina's at home, everybody's back, but I don't know. Like I don't know. I just feel like with Carolina, you said like weeks 1 through 3, they look great. Christian McCaffrey, I don't know. He's just more injury prone than I was expecting him to be like when he first came in, but they do utilize him like literally almost every single play. But you said it's gonna be a tough one. I'm hoping Carolina doesn't win just because they beat us last week. So I'm gonna go with New England this week, go on the road, take a victory. Because if, like I said, if we win, then that puts us back at maybe a game and a half behind them. I don't know. It still puts us at the bottom of the league, but we'll be right there. In the division, but I'm gonna pick New England. Like I said, with Carolina, I guess like CMC coming back, everybody coming back. I don't, they have had a week of practice under their belt, but I don't know. Like he still has to get game shape, game legs under him because he hasn't played since week 3. I want to say
Thursday night game versus Houston. I think that was week 3 or week 4. Yeah, they started out 3-0, so it was week 3.
Yeah, so I'm gonna take New England in this one. Hopefully they pull it out. Because I don't know. I just hope they pull it out. I don't want Carolina to win anymore. Jacksonville, Buffalo. I picked Jacksonville last week. I know you did too. They burned us.
We laid an egg, bro. That's an understatement.
They and Detroit burned us last week. I think Detroit's on a bye though. But
they got
Jesus Christ.
It was rough, but we're gonna keep this one short and sweet. I like Buffalo by 20 plus. We don't have James Robinson, so we can't even rely on the run game. Carlos Hyde is straight, but he's not gonna help establish the run game. And Buffalo's D line, they addressed it in the draft, and it's gotten much better as shown. So they're gonna tee off on T-Law. It's gonna be a long day. Just stay healthy, my guy, and get out of there for next week. But yeah, Buffalo by a lot.
Buffalo by a lot, like you said, short and sweet. I really have nothing there. I don't know, Jacksonville look. I just wasn't expecting that last week. It's crazy. I know you said it would be tough because, you got to travel to Seattle, 6-man and all that, but, it's Geno. I couldn't – what was it? I put up 6?
Yeah, it was some garbage time points, man. I didn't even count it. I'm going to be honest. Once we didn't convert that 4th down on the first drive of the 3rd quarter, I kind of just I put our game on the small TV and put the Pats game on the big TV, so I kind of gave up a little bit.
Oh my God. Yeah, it was terrible. I don't know. Them in Detroit, I don't think I can pick them anymore this year. I've been trying.
Bro, Detroit got smashed. I think it was 34-0. It was just bad. I lost so much money, bro.
It's ridiculous. But next we got was it Minnesota and
Baltimore?
Baltimore, yeah, Minnesota and Baltimore. Minnesota burned you last week. I don't know what to make of them. I've always said I don't know what to make of Minnesota, though. But who you got winning this one?
Short and sweet. Baltimore by 10. Minnesota, they'll show up. But after they lost a must-win game at home to a backup quarterback when they had their team pretty much fully healthy, I can't trust them. And Lamar, if they couldn't stop Cooper Rush, how are they going to stop Lamar? So,
hey, sure.
Long day.
I don't know if have we had a difference yet? It'll come probably towards the end. But yeah, I gotta go with Baltimore as well. Like I said, I'm never high on Minnesota. I never know what I'm gonna get out of them. They're too anomaly. Like they don't give me consistency, and I hate that about them. But this would be one of those type of games that they would end up pulling out and winning. I will say that. But Chargers, Philadelphia, who you got?
Chargers, they had a bad loss last week at home. Not a bad loss, but a tough loss last week at home. And I think that, Philly's defense is atrocious. I think Justin Herbert has a great day, and it'll be tough though. Philly's not a cupcake, and it's not an easy place to play in that environment. So I'll give them a shot, but I like LA, getting back on track versus a team they're much better than, and much better coach too.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I want to go with Philadelphia. I'm probably just messing myself up. Maybe it's because I seen they put 44 points up, but really it means nothing. It was against Detroit, and they're at home. I don't know. And like I said, Chargers and Herbert they haven't looked the same. It's just something. It's just something off about them. Just a little something off. Ever since that Chiefs win, this hasn't really been the same team. I really don't know why. I'm gonna go with Philly. I think it's gonna be a close game for some reason. I'm gonna go with Philly. It's gonna be different. Jalen Hurts has another good game. Maybe they're starting to roll him. Devontae Smith. Defense is doing what the defense needs to do. So I'm gonna go with Philly, just to be different. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Philly. Green Bay, Kansas City. Who you got? Obviously, Aaron Rodgers. That's a big thing. I forgot. That should have been part of our something nothing. I almost forgot about that. But obviously, well, I haven't fully seen the show. I've seen a few clips, but obviously him explaining him getting the immunization versus like a vaccination or whatever. But obviously we know Aaron Rodgers will be out for this game. They've been rolling. They're 7-1. Pretty important game. Obviously, we'll see what Jordan Love has in the tank today. But who you got winning this one?
I got the Chiefs easily. Not easily. I still have faith in my guy. Everybody's trying to write him off, saying he's not good anymore after one tough stretch in his entire career. So I got Mahomes figuring out, a way to win. They've been playing. They haven't been playing good. They're supposed to blow some of these teams out. Had a nail biter with the Giants. Had a nail biters with a lot of teams. They're not supposed to be on. They shouldn't share the same field as them. And I just feel like, eventually they got to get it together. And it starts this week with them going against the second string quarterback. And I think Jordan Love actually is going to play well. One, because Kansas City's defense is KC. But I just think he's not that. I don't think he's as bad as everybody thinks he is. I know it's preseason, but he looked okay in the preseason. He looked pretty calm and collected, and I just think that he's not that bad. I'm interested to watch him play today, but we'll know more, on Monday. But I got to go with Mahomes.
Yeah.
And for a first start playing in KC, that's not an easy place to play. Arrowhead gets to jump in them.
That's true.
They're up there with Seattle, in my opinion. Nobody Seattle how they were, especially like 2014, 2015, but they're up there with Seattle in terms of, the crowd environment.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think I'm going to go with Kansas City as well, but I do expect Jordan Love to play really well, and I'm pretty sure we'll see a bunch of posts from NFL, Sports, and whatever, showing the stats, whether they win or lose. I think he will play decent. Except with Green Bay, it does suck that they don't have Aaron Rodgers, can't continue their run through, the NFC or whatever, like they're expecting. I think they're at the top of the NFC right now, but, it's – and I think I said the Giants won last week. I meant to say the week before that. I'm like a whole week behind. I forgot, but they did play Kansas City close. But I don't know. Like you said, they're not the same team. Defensively, they're trash. Offensively, Mahomes isn't having the greatest of years. Tyreek Hill can't catch the ball. Kelsey's fumbling. It's a lot just going on with that entire team. That just we're not used to seeing. But it's the perfect opportunity at home to feel a little bit good about. So Aaron Rodgers isn't playing, they'll probably look at it as obviously if they do pick up the win, they being the best team in the NFC at the moment. So or one of the best teams in the NFC at the moment. They beat Arizona, so they're first in the NFC. But they'll look at it maybe as a pick-me-up game. I know we've been saying each and every week, like we said last week, this is the week that they should get rolling against the Giants because this should be an easy win. Wasn't an easy win. They got the win though. But maybe this is one that they start to feel good about themselves if they do, pick up the win, whatever form or fashion they do it in. But I'm gonna pick Kansas City as well, and hopefully, like we said, this gets them woken up a little bit and they start to put on a little bit of run. I don't think it happens just because their defense is just so god awful, and we're in the middle of the season now. You really can't fix it. Trade deadline's gone. Did they pick up Jalen Smith off of waivers?
No, but if he got cut and then went to another team and we didn't see him on the field and he got cut again, there has to be
something.
Cowboys didn't just cut him just to cut him. It has to be something going on there.
Yeah, for sure. But Arizona, San Francisco, who you got in this one? NFC West showdown.
I'm going San Fran this week. Collar's out with injury. I think that, San Fran, their record, we got to disregard their record and look what they're doing on the field. They're I know they're not winning games, but they're not playing terrible football. And they win games they're supposed to win. They lost a couple tough ones to Indy and Seattle at home. But I think without Collar this week, Arizona coming out their first loss too. I think they finally, they find their stride and give Arizona their second straight loss.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I can see that as well. Well, Kyler not playing, then it's wraps. That's crazy. There's a lot of starting quarterbacks, not a lot, but it's a good amount of starting quarterbacks that isn't playing this week. But yeah, I gotta go with San Fran as well at home, divisional game. Kyler's not in there. He said, I think so it's time to take one, and maybe this one gets them started as well. Like, what are they? They're 3-5 or 3-6. Can't remember. It might even be that. They only won 2 games. Maybe 2.
No, I think they're 3-5.
3-5. Yeah, well, so maybe this one. Obviously, divisional wise, it's out of their hands. It's a 2-man race, but maybe it gets them started. Maybe this helps turn around their season because we still forget there's still 17 games. There's still a whole 8 more games to go. Basically, another half of the season. So anything can happen. We said they are starting to play a little bit better. U.S. Saints having a breakout year. And defense is finally pretty healthy. So I think this is definitely when they can get back up on their high horse. They pull this one out, especially with Kyler not playing. But Tennessee and LA, this one's probably this is Sunday night game. Yeah, it's probably gonna be the best game of the week, or one of the better games of the week.
I think all right. I think this week they'll be fine, but over the course of the season they won't be. I think that Derrick Henry, the loss of him won't hurt as bad. I don't think Julio's playing today. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but
probably
if he's not playing, it's gonna be rough. Like Jalen Ramsey is going to be able to take AJ Green, not take him out the game plan, but slow him down and then rely on everybody, their other weapons that they really don't have. So I'm just interested to see how the Titans perform without King Henry. Can Tannehill throw the ball when there's a 6-man box versus a 9-man box? So when there's a 9-man box, all you have to do is stick the ball in Derrick Henry's belly, and then when he pulls the ball back out and lifts his head back up, it's 4 defenders, it's 3 defenders, it's a safety and the 2 guys guarding Julio and AJ, like a lot of single coverage, and when those DBs, those linebackers have no threat of the run game and they're just getting back in their drops. It's going to be a long day. So I just can't wait to see, prove a lot of people wrong that think Tannehill is the reason for their success, which anybody who plays football doesn't feel that way. So I don't know where people get that from, but I just think that LA, they don't win easily. Tennessee hangs around, but this is the first. After this week, they're going to start to feel the effect of Derrick Henry. I can see them putting up points, honestly, against LA. Even though their defense is good, I can still see them putting up, 25, maybe 30 points. So I'm going to go Rams by 10. It's close for the most part, and they pull away. Or it could be a total blowout, and Tannehill goes 17 for about 40 for 130 yards and 3 picks. That's what I'm hoping for.
Something crazy. Yeah, I feel like that can happen as well. Like you said, especially first game without Henry. Like you signed Adrian Peterson. I don't know or don't think he's playing today. More than likely not. But it's what? I don't know. That was a weird sign to me. I don't know what running backs are out on the market like that because, when Baltimore lost all theirs, they pretty much picked most of all of them up. But I didn't know there had been somebody else besides Adrian Peterson that they could have picked up. How old is he? He's 35? 34?
He's past whatever they said about running backs when they're supposed to stop playing. He's dead it all.
Past that. Yeah. So I don't know. You said I think it would definitely be a big loss. And they're on the road. So, and like you said, they're probably without Julio as well. So I think it could get ugly real quick. Cooper Kupp has had an incredible year. Also Robert Woods as well. So, and we already know what that defense is going to do. So it really could get ugly quick. I'm going to go with the Rams as well, just to keep it short and sweet. And last game before we finish out here, Chicago, Pittsburgh. Who you got taking this one?
It's a tough one. I want to say the Steelers, they got a good win versus the Browns last week. They've been playing a little bit better, and Justin Fields has been struggling. TJ Watt, those boys wreak havoc. But it's a tough one. I just feel like this type of game, it can go either way. And I'm going to be the odd man now. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I like the Bears by 3 in a close one. I'm not even picking them betting, but I just had this feeling in my mind that, you know, both these teams are poor, very, very poor on offense and pretty solid on defense. Matter of fact, I take that back because I don't think Khalil Mack is playing this week, or he didn't play last week, and that'll be a factor. If Big Ben can sit back, if he's not flustered in the pocket, he can still check the ball down with the best of them. Yeah. So I'm gonna flip that and take the Steelers.
Okay, good. I was like, we thinking of real similar there. I was gonna go with the Bears, as well, but what you just said made me not want to go with them. But just to be different, I think I am gonna go with them. It's a Monday night game. Like you said, Justin Fields has been struggling. Bears have been struggling as a whole, so it's really hard to pick them. I think I didn't pick them last week, but it's just hard to pick them in general. I don't know, but I do want to be different, and I still don't believe Big Ben should be playing football still, even though they're playing a little bit better and have put some wins together. But I don't know. I think I'm gonna go with Chicago. Hopefully Justin Fields has a resurgence game. Maybe he's one of those guys where the bright lights come on in the big time games, because I don't know how many primetime games they've had this year. Maybe it's been at least one other one I know, but I think maybe, like I said, who knows? Maybe he shows out in the bright lights, gets a Pittsburgh team that, isn't the greatest. Like, they're not world beaters, like they maybe were last year or even a year or two ago. So I'm gonna pick Chicago. Hopefully Justin Fields, helps get me a win, proves me wrong, and like I said, helps, I guess, that franchise to better days. So I'm gonna go with them. I think that's the only difference, or not the only difference. That one and
which one was it? It was, you picked Philly.
Philadelphia, yeah, that in Philly. So only 2-game difference this week, but who knows? It could sway. It could be bad in general. It could be like last week when we picked. Well, we kind of didn't pick the same teams, but we did take both of us, just took a lot of L's in general. So, but yeah, man, that does it for today's show. I don't think that it really is anything else to add. You think is there anything that we're missing that we ain't hit on?
No, we covered the Braves finally getting that World Series title. It wasn't really a lot of good college football games this weekend, and the NFL slate. Just looking forward to watching my team get obliterated in a couple minutes and being back to talk about the other good teams in the NFL and not the Jaguars.
Yeah. Hopefully we pick up a win. Hopefully, I don't know. I just don't know. I just hope we just don't look offensively like we did last week. Like we just look stale and stagnant. I guess that's expected when you don't have but one person you can throw the ball to, and then you don't have any time to throw the ball. So I don't know. Don't know what to expect, but about to tune in and look at it right now. But other than that, of course, shout out to everybody on Off the Ball Network. And I do want to shout out one of our sponsors before we do head out. We do have a new sponsor on the network called Built Bar. If you use the promo code Off the Ball when you go to their site, you can get 10% off for you and your family. Real quick, Built Bar, excuse me, is unlike any other bars out there that tastes either like old Play-Doh or a piece of cardboard when you eat a Built Bar. You would think you are cheating on your diet with a delicious chocolate dessert. If the kids find out how good these are, you're going to buy more because they will be begging for them. So definitely go check out Big Bar. I think I'm gonna order a pack. They do look pretty good. Looks like they're protein bars, and like I said, use Off the Ball. That's the promo code. You and your friends and family can get 10% off the whole website when you do. So definitely check them out, and shout out to them for being one of the new sponsors on the network. Also, BetUS official as well, another betting site that we're partnered with as well. If you go on their site, I believe you use Off the Ball Network. They'll match up to a percentage that you first deposit. So definitely shout out to the new sponsors. Shout out Off the Ball Network. Shout out to Sage and everybody else that tuned in. Pick Ems, please be nice to us this week. We're trying to get to the 100 mark. And it don't look like we're going to anytime soon if we're picking the way we're picking. But other than that, hope to see you guys. Hope to see you guys, or we will see you guys next week. Also, tune in tomorrow for Overreaction Monday. I don't know if I'll be on because I think I got to do basketball or coach or whatever. Dad may be on. If not, definitely check out Couch Coach and all the other guys that will be overreacting to all the games that we see today. And then, like I said, the rest of the slate of the shows throughout the week. But that does it for us today here. Appreciate y'all for joining us on this Sunday morning, and we'll catch you guys next time. Have a good one.